Good evening, ladies, and thank you for joining us tonight on episode 34, season 6 of the Standoff with Brad and Richie here on New Zealand Sport Radio. We're here live every Wednesday on Facebook throughout the internationals. Richie's not here yet. He's running a bit late, but Paul is with me. So evening, Paul. It was our first weekend off with no NRL to watch, which gave us time to think over the year and go through our season award winners. But how are you and how was your weekend?
Yeah, fine, thank you. What do you mean with Brad and Richie? I mean, come on, it's with Brad and Paul. This is what the what do you call it? I've gone blank now. This is what the people are asking for, clamoring
exactly. For. Yeah. So how are you?
Oh, I'm alive. I'm good. On the non-alcoholic stout.
I'm on the hardcore coffee here, so I don't know how long this one will be with how many awards we've got. But while we're here live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m, you can also catch our show at our convenience, or your convenience, sorry. Just remember to search for New Zealand Sport Radio on iHeart and Spotify. As always, we're going to cover everything you need to know in the week that was rugby league, including our top stories of the week. We'll then give out our 2025 awards. We'll then stop and answer some questions from you guys as well as questions prepared for each other. And then we'll end the night with a preview of the upcoming internationals that kick off this weekend. So remember to send us comments and questions throughout the show, and we may as well jump straight into the news. Paul?
Sounds good.
Hopefully you can help me out a little bit. But the Storm, we talked about it a little bit last week, but the Storm have officially released Nelson Asofa-Solomona. Effective immediately, no word on where he's going. He's come out and said that he hasn't made a decision yet, but he's got a few options and he's looking forward to the next step in his journey. I think it was the right idea for Melbourne. He basically just every time he showed up, he would get sin-binned and miss a couple of weeks. We can talk about that when we go through our awards, but I was trying to find my award for best high tackle of the year, and he kept the last month he missed like 6 or 7 weeks in bans.
Well, yeah, so they've enforced him as the enforcer. It has been labelled, which basically means spending time off the pitch. So unless you've got two of them who can alternate, basically when one's been banned, the other's been replaced. Yeah, they're a bit of a liability.
Yeah, and I know there were rumours that the Warriors had been approached by the Storm to take him off their hands, but I would love to have him if he wasn't that part of the game. Because as much as I love that part of the game, he will spend his whole time suspended with the Warriors, so I wouldn't see it as worth the money. I assume he'll be going to that 360 competition, which we'll be talking about later. He has played rugby before. They're kind of going for anyone. The punishments that are going to be set in place, which we'll talk about in a bit, probably wouldn't affect him with his age, so that would seem like a likely destination. But we'll talk about that in a little bit because we've got some Papua New Guinea news. The expansion team has officially announced their name. They will be the PNG Chiefs.
Well, the guy's only 29, so he's got a few years.
Yeah, I guess. But if you play 1 or 2 years there and then you've got to wait 10 years, he'll be in his 40s.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. If he goes, he goes. Yeah, he's not going to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, but Papua New Guinea Chiefs, which is better than one of the suggested names of the PNG Predators. So I feel like Chiefs is the better option. And this was announced during the doubleheader they had against the Australian Prime Minister's teams, which Australia won 50-0 in the women and 28-10 in the men. But yeah, they seem to be really excited. We're still going to see if it actually happens. Everything's pointing.
If you could let me know in the live chat, folks, is Brad freezing for you as well, or is it just for me? Because unfortunately we lost you there. But yeah, what 29 do you say it was that they're going to be coming in.
Yeah.
The good thing about that is, look, you've given them a runway to actually get things in place. If you said do it next year, then it's going to fail. It's going to have some real problems, which we've seen with things like Moana Pacifica. How long they've taken a long time to just get things working. Unfortunately, just because they were given such a small time frame. So from that point of view, yeah, you've got to say that that's it's the proper time frame to get themselves organised, which is good. The name, though, it's a bit boring, isn't it? We got the Chiefs in rugby. You got the Chiefs in over in NFL. I think there might be a Chiefs kind of baseball team as well. But yeah, look, it's not very original, unfortunately.
There's nothing original. Most of the teams in the NRL have a name somewhere else.
I mean, things like Rabbitohs. That's kind of unique. It's but yeah, you're right. You do have like the Tigers. You've got the Cowboys. You've got a lot of ones there that aren't unique. And if we look at the ones that are coming up, or the new recent ones, obviously the Dolphins. Well, Miami Dolphins straight away. They're talking about the Bears, weren't they? Which again, there's the Chicago Bears. Yeah, just try and be original, please, folks. And
any suggestions?
Any suggestions from me?
What's unique to PNG?
Obviously the ones you could. I mean, obviously what you don't want to go with, but it's kind of like the headhunters,
the beetle nut.
All the go with the tribal kind of background that they had there, but that's not very PC. But I don't know. I don't know Papua New Guinea well enough. But do they have an indigenous animal that's sort of unique to there? I mean,
Tell us in the chat.
You could have called.
I feel like Simon would know.
Yeah, Simon might know. That's true. I might have to do a quick Google and get back to you guys.
Hey, Brad, are you frozen, mate?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Got to spend all that money on a brand new extender, man, and it doesn't seem to be bloody working. But no. Yeah, how are you going anyway?
Good, yeah. But lost. No NRL on to watch anymore. But internationals on our doorstep now, so
yeah,
it's enough to keep us excited and limping to the end of the season. Technical difficulties and all. Yeah,
we managed to get away from them for all the season. We just waited to the end of the year for it all to happen. Yeah. But yeah, so next bit of news after PNG was the Titans are rumored to be willing to pay $250,000 towards David Fifita's salary to move him on. The Rabbitohs are close to signing him, but they want the Titans to pay at least $350,000. So they're just niggling over price. It's a weird world. You wouldn't have thought a couple of years ago that people would be that desperate to get rid of David Fifita, that they'd be willing to pay to see him leave.
Yeah, crazy to think.
But I think a fresh new coat of paint and Rabbitohs colours might do him the world of good. Getting back with Bennett as well.
Wayne Bennett doesn't hurt.
Yeah. And the Titans also announced that they have released their union recruit Carter Gordon back to Australian rugby. So he signed a 3-year deal, I think, with Australian rugby. He was one of the highly promoted rugby union converts. They were talking him up more than they were talking Marky Mark up, and the direction those two careers have gone. Is different, but odds are they'll probably both be playing for the Wallabies in the World Cup at the next World Cup. So, yeah, I don't think they'll pay him a lot of money, but they're probably paying him more money than they'd want to for a guy that they weren't willing to use. Got a new coach in there now who probably
doesn't want anything to do with him. I think you were about to say, Brad, before you cut out.
Yeah. That's right. Probably doesn't want anything to do with him. But yeah, any surprises for you there?
Nah, it's just a little surprised, that it just didn't really get off the ground. I thought he might get more of a crack, given the team he was in, a bottom 4 team. Mind you, they do have backline talent. That sort of it's a more talented sort of lineup. You'd think they wouldn't be where they are, but no. The World Cup and Aussie is a big lure for these union converts, clearly. So,
yeah,
good luck to them.
So yeah, wish them well. There was also some news that the Tigers and the Sea Eagles are interested in doing a player swap between Nathan Brown and Jack Bird. Nothing confirmed yet, but interesting idea. I guess both of them may do with a new scenery, may kind of rejuvenate their career, but I feel like Jack Bird's just Super League bound.
I think so. I'm trying to think where Jack Bird fits in the Manly lineup currently. I don't know. I guess he's a jack of all trades kind of player, but give me Nathan Brown in that deal.
Yeah, I would go with Nathan Brown out of the two as well. And then the next one, Perth Bears announced that they are planning on having 10 players signed by Christmas. They said they're not necessarily marquee signings, but they want 10 players on the books. So we should get some news before we finish for the year on maybe some fringe players that get picked up. But yeah, any thoughts on that? Or it's about time, I feel.
Yeah. About time. As long as one of their marquee ones isn't one of our guys, one guy in particular, then yeah.
Yeah.
But about time they start forming a roster.
Yeah. And then there was some interviews with Kevin Walters prior to the Tour of England, and he declared that the Broncos would have won a premiership if he was still their coach. So he still hasn't let it go, mate.
Yeah. That's funny.
He should be focused on trying to keep this Australian job.
Yeah. He's got that out of luck, hasn't he?
Mm.
No, not really. I mean, you look at what his time at the Broncos. Well, when he started there, they were picked up wooden spoon, and he took them to a grand final. They did fall off last year, but I think even if he was coached this year with a bit of luck, they do quite well.
Yeah,
they've got a pretty talented roster.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, we'll just have to let that one be in the what if category. And then the big one that came out today, mate, that I was speaking with Paul a bit before we went live. Phil Gould posted a tweet today regarding a meeting that was held in regards to the R360 comp. The ARLC's approved a policy statement that's going to prevent any player from being able to re-enter the NRL for a 10-year period if they go and join the comp. And that same rule will go for player agents that broker deals for their clients to play in the R360. So if you're a player or an agent and you leave to go to 360, it's 10 years before you're allowed to come back.
Mm.
It's a big stance. It could be just what they need to stop some of the players going. Guys at the back end of their career would be okay.
Yeah.
But I guess this will stop them losing the young talent, which I think they're more concerned with. Like, say, not going to happen, but say like a Sam Healy, just thinking Warriors based. He's stuck behind like Wade Egan right now. He might go, bugger it. I'll go make $1 million a year for 2 years and then come back. And by that time, some of the older hookers won't be in the comp anymore and I can easily get my way in. This would stop him from doing that.
I just don't want it poaching the current, crop of young superstars. Your Reece Walsh's, Ethan Strange.
Take all of them, man. just keep the Warriors alone, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, your aging ones, yeah, like your Roger, I completely understand it. You might as well go make the big bucks at the back end while you can.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'd like to know more details on it. Like, say you're a player agent that has Roger, Lecker, and a few others, and you get Roger that deal. Are they going to go, well, that's because of that you're gone and you can't manage these young guys that are still in the NRL? I don't know. And I feel like it will only be if it's, I don't know if it's just if you try to break the contract you're in, or if it's your contract's up and you sign a deal here. I feel like there's got to be something, because if your contract's up and you don't get any offers and you are also not happy with the offer your current team's giving you, and you go to these guys, are they going to go punish you for that? I don't know. And Jagger said, I wonder what the RLPA, yeah, I'm sure the RLPA won't be happy about it. But they're never really happy about anything. So yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon?
I don't know. I just, as long as it doesn't end up kind of like cricket or the Indian Premier League kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
that's kind of the priority almost now in their calendar over internationals. You see international players sitting out internationals to make coin.
Yeah,
over there, and that's the biggest stars in the game. So, yeah. But you know, you put yourself, if you're an athlete capable of putting yourself on the market for that kind of money, Brad, what would you do?
Take the money.
Of course.
Yeah. We're here for a good time, not a long time, you know. I think it would depend on your situation as well. Like if you've ticked a lot of the milestones off in your NRL career, like I know there's been a lot of talk about Nathan Cleary, because obviously I think he just proposed to his missus. She lives up there, saying like this could be a way he might go there and be closer to his partner. But he's pretty much done everything. There is, they might not have as much of a drive to stick around because, you know, how many premierships are too many premierships, I guess. I think you'd always like to win them, but if you've won 4 or 5, maybe it's the time to start making money on your name. I don't know. It's hard to say, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. And JC, it seems over top and could have adverse repercussions. Yeah, it could have a negative effect. They might have a lot of players decide to call their bluff. Because as I was saying to Paul earlier, the players that they'd probably bend the rule to let come back are probably the ones that wouldn't go anyway, like your Reece Walshes and all that. Maybe even Nathan Cleary. If Nathan Cleary was like, I want to go and do a 2-year deal of this and then come home, they're not going to tell Nathan, not going to say, Nathan, you've got 8 years or 8 to 10 years sitting at home until you're allowed to play. They'll bring those guys straight back.
Surely he's done enough in the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, there might be a few players that go bugger it and call their bluff. But, yeah, we'll see. But as I said to Paul before we went live, it's a stark contrast to we're not even worried about this stupid little competition to now setting off a nuke, basically, to say no.
Yeah,
you'll be scorched out of the history books if you go. So yeah, it'll be interesting couple of months, I think, leading in. I think that doesn't start till October next year, Paul.
What? Hey, when?
Yeah, I saw you sleeping, so I thought I'd better throw something at you. So the R360, it's October, doesn't it start next year?
But that would fit the Northern Hemisphere kind of season, so it makes sense. I've not been following it at all. I think it's going to be. I just don't understand how it's going to work. This whole idea of going around different places and touring. Look, if you don't have a home stadium to have home fans, then to me that's how team sports work. Sure, your racing sports like your Grand Prix or your or horse racing or sort of cycling or motorbikes, that kind of stuff can go different places because you're not then people are supporting people supporting sort of drivers and riders. They're not supporting a kind of group per se. I mean, a few people obviously do prefer like they'll support Mercedes or something, but Mercedes again isn't a location-based team, is it? No. So trying to have these ideas of they're a location-based team, but they'll only play at that location once a year when the stop is there. It just doesn't make sense. How do you get an emotional attachment with your fans? I just don't understand how it's going to work.
Yeah, interesting times. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I don't know. We'll move on. Several NRL teams, mate, are interested in Setu 2. We talked about him last week after his efforts in the Warriors New South Wales Cup side. Said we're not really sure of his contract situation, but yeah, apparently a few NRL clubs are keeping an eye on him. Be a handy pickup for anyone that wanted him. He just needs, I think, an opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. We saw what he could do at the back end of that. This year, he was just on fire. So I'm sure he's got that next level up in him. Just depends who throws him a bone.
And the next one, I was really happy Paul was joining us tonight because I knew he was going to come with the knowledge, and then he broke my heart by saying he doesn't know anything about it. But the Warriors have been linked to luring Christchurch removed from the Mako team, but you know a bit about him, Richie. What are your thoughts on this potential news?
I've seen bits and pieces of him on the schoolboy circuit, and he looks exciting. Plenty of attacking flair and a good pass and a good kick, as you'd hope for in a aspiring number 10 in rugby union. So he'll bring that skill set, I think. I hope. Hope it all translates over well and we see it develop into something. But yeah, who knows? But it's an exciting one.
Yeah, it'd be great if he got there and did well because with a name like Inch, there's plenty of headline-inducing things you could do there.
Yeah.
I only saw a little bit on the news of some of his plays. Yeah. You never know what they're going to be like. So we'll see what happens. You never know. In a couple of years, you could be looking at a Cleary-Inch halves combo there, maybe. Time will tell, but I thought we'd better talk about it. And I know there was a comment earlier. Ruben Garrick has apparently not been able to agree to a new deal with Manly and will test the open market. I think he'd be a handy pickup for any team.
Yeah.
He plays centre, mate. I know a team that needs a centre or two.
Kind of price
goal
you
kicking
paying?
Centre. I don't.
I'd love him on our team.
I wouldn't be paying too much, but you wouldn't want to lowball him either.
No.
Which Manly have apparently done. But he's not a guy that's going to be looking for, or he wouldn't be
to come to NZ. To come to NZ, you probably got to pay him at least 700, right?
You would. I think he could probably get top dollar going to the Bears, to be honest.
Yeah, it's too much for us to pay, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't. When we've actually got young guys that should be doing that role if they weren't injured, you don't want to be paying 700. Last thing you'd want to do is pay him like 700 and then find out that we're losing like Ali Leotawa because we paid that money. So
he is very versatile, though, eh? Centre,
he is.
Wing, fullback.
Yeah, but we've got a winger now, which we talk about soon. So we're fine. And then after last week, mate, we said the World Cup Challenge was back. It's now in doubt. Hull KR won the Super League Grand Final 24-6 over Wigan. and they are one of the Super League teams going to Vegas next year. So they may not have room for the clash, much like what happened with Wigan and the Panthers last year. So it looks like World Cup Challenge could be gone again, mate. I don't know. That's I guess the negative of planning the teams going to Vegas so early. Where,
they should just take their game to Vegas.
Yeah, they could do that. They could have done that this year because the Broncos aren't one of the teams that were going. But I guess, yeah.
It's a hard one. Yeah, hard one to plan.
Yeah. And next bit of news I got, Danny Baduris is apparently signed with the Knights as an assistant coach.
Club legend.
But yeah, I don't know what he's like as a coach, mate. But what do you reckon?
I don't know what he's like as a coach either. Club legend. No, he's got a heck of a footy brain, so I don't doubt him. But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. And then before we get into the international teams that have been named, Xavier Coates and Zach Lomax have withdrawn from the Kangaroo squad and been replaced by Bradman Best and Josh Adokar. So we'll go into that. We had a few. I think the England team's been named too, but I didn't get a picture for it. But we can get Paul to bring up pictures. They're not in any particular order because there's multiple things, but we've got the Kiwis and Tonga. I'll go with Kiwis. You can say the Tongan name.
I was going to say, go for it.
So for the Kiwis, we've got Nelson Asafa Solomona, Dylan Brown, Aaron Clark, Phoenix Crossland, James Fisher-Harris, Kieran Foran, Jermaine Osako, Keno Kinney, Sebastian Chris, Moses Leota, Jeremy Marshall-King, Casey McLean, Ronaldo Mulitalo, Chance Nicol Cookster, Brendan Nakora, Isaiah Papali'i, Scott Sorensen, Joseph Tapani, Matt Tomoko, Nuff White, and Xavier Willinson. Pretty good team. Only one debutant in there. But I'm happy with that team with the current injuries that are, obviously we've got what is now the Kiwis routine of giving a retiring half as swan song. With Jerome Hughes always magically getting injured before the internationals now.
Yeah, what's up with that?
But yeah,
for me,
I'm happy.
Better team. For me, it's a better team if you're starting with Keeney at fullback.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy with that team.
That way, are we?
Yeah, and if you want to give us the Tongan men's team.
Yep. Paul Alamoti, Kulikifu Finifuyaki, Adam Whanua Blake, Maui Foraweka, Leka Halasima, Saliva Havili, Lehigh Hapawari, Ali Katoa. Oh, here we go. Zaya Katoa, Sione Katoa, Felice Kafusi, Tolu Kola, Isaiah Iongi, Sonny Luke, Will Penasini, Jason Tamalolo, Rob Toya, Daniel Tupou, Stefano Utukamanu, Dimitri Vaimanga, and Siwa Wong. This is pretty stacked.
Yeah, I'm happy with that team too. Very strong team. Good to see Leka and Dimitri make their debuts. I know there was an interview with Leka where he said he was quite torn on picking Tonga or New Zealand. Would have loved to see him in a Kiwis jersey, but very happy that he's picked Tonga. And yeah, they're going to be again, as we say every year, though, it's the halves that are a bit of a weakness there. But I think Katoa showed more than enough this year that he's growing. So
I don't think it's a weakness anymore.
Yeah.
Not with him, yeah.
No, but yeah, it's going to be a hell of a clash coming up. Or the three teams really, because we'll talk about Samoa next. But yeah, very happy with that team. So Paul, if you want to bring up the next slide, which was Samoa and Australia. Not being racist, I'll let you do Samoa, mate. They're your team.
No, I feel this is the way it should be anyway, Brad. Okay, Toa Samoa, Ata Mariota, Benoia Ioalu, Blaise Talangi, Brian To'o, Chanel Harris-Tavita, Dean Mariner, Francis Molo, Isaac Tango, Jerome Luai, Jaden Sua, Jazz Tivanga, Jeremiah Nanai, Josh Papali, Junior Polo, Laikan King Tongia, Murray Talangi, Payne Haas, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Simi Sasangi, Taylor May, and Terrell May. Payne Haas is a massive in.
Yeah. I've heard rumors that Taylor May's hurt himself and might be out as well. So I don't know who they'll bring in for Taylor May. But,
Damn.
But
they're playing
still
Kiwi
a hell of a
yeah.
squad. Very happy with that. Then Australia, they're going to be playing at times when we won't be watching because in England. But Blake Brayley, Pat Carrigan, Nathan Cleary, Xavier Coates, who's now gone, so Josh Adokar, Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cotter, Angus Crichton, Tom Dearden, Dylan Edwards, Tino Fasuamalawi, Harry Grant, Keon Kolomatangi, Zach Lomax, Mitch Moses, Cameron Munster, Mark Nawaka Nitawase, Jacob Preston, Giamat Sabaski, Lindsay Smith, Katoni Staggs, Ethan Strange, Reece Walsh, Isaiah Yeo, Hudson Young. So again, who was the other one that I said was out? It was Xavier Coates and Zach Lomax. Sorry, yes. So Zach Lomax is out. No big surprises there. Good to see but yeah, you happy with that team?
The Aussie team? Yeah.
Yeah.
About as happy as I can be with a team I despise. Yeah.
A
lot of talent,
and then,
as always.
Yeah. And then the last internationals teams we've got were Fiji and the Cook Islands, which Paul's going to try to find for us. There we go. I'll go with Fiji this time. I feel like I would struggle with either. So Fiji, we've got Jareen Buller, Kurt Donahue, Michael Jennings, Terrell Kalokalo, Tui Kamika, Katoni Katanga, Kyla Mafoa, Karisi Maya, Tane Milne, Ben Nakubuwai, maybe, sorry. Caleb Nabali, Ronald Filitonga, Akila Koro, Jethro Rakama, Solomoni Sakura, Penny Tangi Tumua, Sonua Taruva, Semi Valame, Michael Waka, and Brendan Wakeham. I think that's a pretty good side. They got some of the young guys that are showing some form in the NRL dedicated to them as well.
Yes, solid team. Glad you chose to read that out because there's a team full of mouthfuls is what it is. If you frozen there, Brad, I can do Cook Islands.
Yeah, do the Cook Islands, mate.
So we've got Cassius Cowley, Isom Ioka, KL Iro. That's a big one, having him there. Makahesi Makatoa, Justin Makirere, Isan Masters, Davey Moale, Tipai Moiroa, Rua Nati Kaura, Marata Niakore, Pride Peterson Robati, Brendan Piakura, Ruben Porter, Ruben Rennie, Tiapo Stoltman, Brad Takirangi, Brody Tamaroa, Mason Teague, Paul Alberg, Delahia Wigmore. A couple of big ones in there, Brad.
Yeah, so the big news, and the big news was Murata leaving the Kiwis to represent the Cook Islands. That was a big get for them. And got some good players in there.
Yeah.
Yep. KL Iro, he could easily have walked into the Kiwis team if he wanted. So, I think they got a good side. And that was it for the internationals, so we can let Paul have a bit of a rest there. I know the England team did get announced. I think Simon mentioned earlier as well, Sky playing the Aussie games. I assume they are, but I'm not 100%. I would have to check. They're not for another, I think think their first game's like the 26th. So there's still a bit of time before then. But we'll go into signings, Matt. There was quite a few. Big one for the Warriors. We've talked about it ad nauseum now, but AKP's officially signed a 3-year deal.
Awesome.
You happy with that? We've kind of talked about it like he was already coming.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm happy with some speed. Yep.
Yeah, I think we need the speed, and what do we got to lose?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people criticizing his defensive side, but
no,
it's not really. It's not a defensive powerhouse. He's potentially taking the. Best news I heard all week was Bunty Afoa has signed a 1-year deal to join the Tigers. So very happy to see him stay in the NRL. It's great news. Love to see Bunty and Terrell May working together. I think it could be just what he needs. So I'm hoping it works out really well for him. Panthers have also signed Jack Cogger on a 3-year deal. So they let him go to the Knights. Now they're bringing him back. Then NRLW, mate, we talked about it. It hadn't been confirmed, but Jesse Southwell has officially signed a 2-year deal with the Broncos. Big get for them, especially since they've lost half of their team to the Warriors, because the Warriors announced they've also signed a Neta Claudia Norsala from the Broncos joining the Warriors on a 3-year deal. So we've still got one more. There's one more of the NRLW signings that they haven't announced yet. So we'll have to wait and see.
A pretty damaging team.
So it's going to be a great team for next year. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, looking forward to seeing who that one is, because the names have announced already. Whoever you're saving for last is usually going to be a big one. So you've had 2 Dally M players already announced. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. And then extensions. Herbie Farnworth signed a 1-year extension to remain with the Dolphins until at least 2027. And Will Kennedy is signed till the end of next year with the Sharks. So no surprises there with either of them. Not playing for the Kangaroos, and Zach Lomax has an abdominal strain. Both will be fine for preseason. And then Corey Horsburgh suffered a suspected collarbone injury and was going for scans after playing in Papua New Guinea in the weekend. Nothing else. Naughty Boys, no games. Except I will say Jared Warrior-Hargraves got a 4-game suspension. And so I thought that was a bit funny. But we'll go on to the awards now, mate.
Yep.
So kicking off, it's the same ones we do every year. I don't think we added any new ones. But the first one we had was biggest surprise. I went with the Panthers' first 12 rounds of the year, and you went with Raiders minor premiers. I think both worthy. Mine, I'll just briefly say about mine, and then you talk about yours. Panthers, I didn't expect them to make the grand final, but I didn't expect them to be, sitting at the bottom of the ladder at the end of round 12. They managed to claw their way back in, but yeah, I thought that was a massive surprise for me. I thought they'd fall off, but not that far.
Yeah. For me, the Raiders just were, I don't think anybody had them top 4 team if you'd asked them start of the year. A lot had them finishing bottom 4. I definitely didn't have them in my 8. So the fact that they played as consistently well as they did, unearthing a couple of superstars, that they had coming through last year, but they've really come on. They come of age this year, and for them to go all the way and grab the Shield, I know it didn't end well for them, but that was my biggest surprise.
Yeah. Next award was our Rookie of the Year, and it's someone we both agreed on. So the award went to Leka Halasima.
Yes.
Thought he was dudded in the Dally M's, but yeah, great breakout year for him, and I just really hope he backs it up in 2026. But yeah, it's hard to knock him on any of the amazing things he did during the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
can't argue.
It's a visual thing, mate. Nodding doesn't help.
Maybe a little bit of bias on our part. Were we including Marky Mark in the standoff Rookie of the Year award?
We could have. We don't have.
Yeah.
He was robbed.
Between those two for me. Those two for me.
Marky Mark wins an award from me this year anyway, so I wanted to share it around a bit. Next one we had was the biggest blunder. We differed on this one. I went with Terrell May getting snubbed from Origin, and you went with Marty Tapau liking a social media post.
Yeah, cost himself a premiership ring.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one. Mine was just
a pretty big blunder.
Terrell May, I understand maybe in the first game when you had Mitch Barnett and that Mitch Barnett goes down, you need another prop to come in. It felt like Terrell was being the best prop running around, and Laurel Daly just doesn't like him or whatever. And not saying Terrell May in there means New South Wales win, but I think it was a massive blunder from New South Wales.
With all due respect, I have him in there, but ahead of Max King any day of the week. If you ask him.
Yeah. Next award is the best haircut. We differed on this one, mate. I couldn't do it. Mullets are back in, I think. But yeah, you went with Dylan Watini-Zalesniak, who I think has won it every year from us. And I went with Josh Papali'i.
Until he changes it, I have to keep going with him.
Yeah, I just didn't want to give Dylan any awards, mate. I was a bit sour on him this year. But yeah, Josh is here, and the fact that his son's got the same haircut now. Yeah,
that's gold.
But yeah, next award is the opposite, the worst haircut, mate. And it's a clear winner from both of us. We're in the different order. We can do it in your order, Paul. So not worst haircut will be later. Next one was hit of the year. We both went with Ivana Lauatiti. It was hard to get a picture of it, mate. All the other pictures I found were very blurry. I even tried to go back onto the game and do a screenshot. It didn't work. It was just blurry. But yeah, it won Dally M tackle of the year for a reason. She folded that poor girl. But yeah, anything else you want to add to it? We talked about it quite a bit last week.
Oh, she came up with a number of juicy hits this season. But yeah, I think she's a new favourite player of mine coming up in the NRW,
Making her debut for the Kiwi Ferns too.
Yeah, which is awesome. But yeah, she's folded a few girls like that. But that one in particular against the Tigers was a beauty.
Yeah. And then the next award, what have you got next, Paul? Try of the year. So this one we did speak about during the week because we both had these in our head, and so we went one or the other. So I went with Mark Nawaka-Nitawase's try against the Bulldogs, where he, kicked it, and it's hard to explain it as a prop, but there was magic involved. Got the try of the year with the Dally M's, and you went with Leka Halasima against the Knights, the miracle
Clutch.
try at death.
Awesome try, both of them.
Yeah, they were both great. I think as I was saying to you, talking during the week, mine was just just the skill set and the ability to be able to do that, and your one was the situation and the ability to do what he did. So I think they're both very, very achievable to get those. So congrats to both. Next award, Paul. Personality of the year. This one him holding the toilet, but yeah, love him or hate him, he definitely was getting talked about a lot throughout the year, especially in the final series, and
he went all the way with it.
And quite often when you talked about a lot, it's because of bad reasons. But on the whole, his was kind of more. He wasn't doing stupid stuff and getting himself in trouble, was he?
No,
he was doing stupid stuff, but he wasn't getting in trouble. But yeah, next one. Most improved team. So I went with the Raiders. You went with the Broncos. Obviously, your one has a bit of an advantage. They won the whole thing, and I went with the Raiders because they were predicted by a lot of people to be wooden spoon. They won the minor premiership. Didn't get further than that, obviously, going out in straight sets. But yeah, I had the Broncos in my grand final, so they kind of went how I expected.
But they won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your one is very valid too. Next one, Paul. Biggest room for improvement. You went with the Titans. I went with Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Titans makes perfect sense. Yeah.
They're a dumpster fire of a team, so yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go but up for them. And Dallin, he's, especially with the recent signing of AKP, his potential chances of playing a lot of NRL in 26 may be gone unless he really sorts his shit out. He was a really concerning decline in form this year, unfortunately. So I'm very hopeful that it was just a blip, but yeah, I want to see him improve. Next one, Paul. Story of the year. You went with Lachlan Galvin and his jumping ship to the Bulldogs, and I went with DC's future, which we still don't have an update on. Just how that came about. Yeah, how that came out, where he kind of spoke on like live television that he was leaving the Manly, but he wasn't retiring, and all that crap, and then the capitulation of the team around it.
Yeah.
And what it means for 2026. Next one, Paul. Right. Team of the year, we both went Broncos. They won it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Did well. We can move on. Player of the year, we went to Reece Walsh. Made sense. He kind of yeah.
Prestigious standoff awards.
Had a great grand final, a great final series. Just great all round for him. Next one, Paul. Best high tackle. We're getting into the good ones. These are really hard to get pictures of, mate. I went with Nelson Asafa-Solomona in round 27, and you went with Trent Loiero in the grand final. Both picked Storm players, mate.
Well, yeah, I mean, mine was just, I guess, the magnitude of the game and the moment, you know, in getting sin-binned in a grand final.
Yeah, mine was essentially Nelson's last game as a Storm player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's always going to be a Storm guy most of the time in this. I think last year Suaalii in Origin. I think that's what we picked.
Yeah, it had to be him.
Next one, worst 10 in the bin. We both went with Hudson Young finals week 1. Got sent to the bin for sledging.
How do you get sent to the bin for getting headbutted?
I don't know, but yeah, it was out of all the sin bins I could remember this year, that was the most atrocious decision. Yeah, next one, worst bunker call. I went with Brian To'o's.
Oh yeah.
You went with Zach Hosking contact on Walsh's leg, also in finals week 1.
See, the thing is with that one, it's by the letter of the law, it's correct, but it's just the worst bunker call because I hate that rule, and it's now we've seen it decide a big game.
Yeah. Next one, Paul. Worst refs call. We did that one already, didn't we?
No, I think it's
no. Sorry, that was the worst sin bin. He got double awards. Worst ref call, also the Hudson Young sin bins. Decided to send him off for getting headbutted. And the viewers' moment of the year. You viewers are useless, man. No one was giving me ideas, but Bjorn came in clutch on Twitter, and he said Metcalf silencing the doubters. So it was early in the year after they basically said he ain't a halfback and the Warriors are rubbish after what happened in Vegas. He silenced the crowd. So
and we sure turned to crap once he was gone.
If Simon had given us one, it would have been minor premiers. So I must have forgotten to give you one, Paul. There's a few we didn't give you, obviously, unless there's more in your slides later on. Because we've got...
No, that's all I've got. Sorry, have I gone and not got them all?
Yeah, it's all good.
I got 22 pages in total.
Yeah, there's a couple more. Hold on.
This is riveting stuff.
We're live, people. We're live. I'm just remembering how to do this. All right. So I'm not as good as Paul with this, but we had the worst haircut. We both went with Lachlan Galvin.
Had to be him.
Yeah, that's the worst haircut I've seen in my life. Signing of the year, we went with Aaron Clark. Had to be. Delhi and Lock of the Year was fantastic. We've done these ones. Most improved player. So you went with Aaron Clark. Very valid. Training trial, made a grand final, made Origin, now made the Kangaroos. Hell of a
very
year,
hard to argue. Yeah, massive.
Yeah,
I think you got them all.
That's it. So it was just those ones. Yeah. So yeah, that's our awards done for the year, mate.
Awesome.
Yeah. We have to remember that we actually do them every year so we can remember. It was a bit hard going back in the mind, trying to find out ones from earlier in the year. But yeah, as I said to you, it was basically 50-50 on ones we agreed with and ones we had different, which I do like when we're a bit different at times as well. But we'll go to questions. Were there any questions from the crowd? With whatever's happening with my internet, Paul, I can't actually see comments, so I have no idea. That's why we're going better. I'm not getting distracted.
I've brought all the comments up, but not sort of put them in the screen. There's no real sort of questions per se.
Cool. We'll go with your one to me first, mate.
Yeah. My one to you was with now we've confirmed AKP, Luffy Khan Pereira. What is your Brad's preferred Warriors starting backline?
Yeah, so I had a quick think about it. So fullback, it's what I want, not what's going to actually happen, right? So fullback, I got Tane Tuapiki. My wings, I've got AKP and RTS. Then my centers, I got Pompey and CNK. And my halves, I got Metcalf and CHT. I wanted to try to fit as many hyphens as I could. But yeah, that's who I would go with. CNK is a bit loose. I feel like they're going to have him in there somewhere, but I think Tane, I think we've said it already, I feel Tane at fullback just gives them a bit more spark. But they might decide that maybe with AKP, they might not need that spark necessarily coming out of fullback. They might use him in that way. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'd go with. Did you pick a back five?
Oh, very tough, man. It's a couple of legends that, not that I want to see the back of them, but I think we've got to start planning forward. So, Kane at fullback, AKP one wing, Roger at the other wing. I want to reward Pompey with a centre spot for just the last couple of years, and very reliable and durable. The other centre spot is a toss-up, Leotawa with Berry, who's staying fit. Chanel Harris, Tavita, Luke Metcalf. That's me.
Yeah. And I feel like it's probably going to be exactly what it was this year when Webster's done.
Yeah, probably. So on my lineup, it's a little harsh on Chance and Dallin, who are you know, club legends in their own right. But I'm just thinking future, you know, the long run.
Yeah. There's still a possibility that before next year starts, Dallin might not be with the team anymore. They might look to try to offload him potentially. That's pure speculation on my part. Chance, they won't. They just re-signed him, which in hindsight, I still think probably wasn't the right call, but they know better than this retired prop over here. As much as I love him, I just think they need to do something in another direction, but we'll see. My question to you, mate, we're now at near the end of season 6 of the stand this year.
Do I have any moments from the show that stand out from this year? One of my favorites is definitely Paul thinking Wayne Bennett was coaching the Roosters. That was a goodie. That had us all in stitches. For me, definitely wasn't the fantasy or the tipping. Nice to run those again, but we were poor, Brad. You were decent in fantasy. Yeah, I think for me it's that Paul thinking Wayne Bennett was coaching the Roosters and still somehow beating us in predictions.
You get some predictions,
yeah. So well done, Paul. Take out my moment of the year.
I'm going to be completely narcissistic and make it about me for mine. The progression in hating Adam Pompey to having to constantly praise him every week because of how consistent he was. Still, I'm still probably a little bit of a hater. But I don't think I criticized him at all this year. There was no reason to.
No.
And getting a bit more soft when it comes to these penalties, Matt. It's harder for you to do montages of me saying that every suspension wasn't valid because it was a perfectly fine tackle. I'm getting.
You're growing as a person.
Growing. Yeah, Mrs. is saying I'm growing too much, mate. That's the problem. But yeah, that is it for the questions. So before we let everyone go, we do have week 1 of internationals. Kind of like what we did with the Warriors. I feel like we'll do the same trends for the Pacific Championship game because Kiwis aren't playing every week, but Tonga, Samoa, we'll do the same thing, mate. We'll have both teams up. So I'll go for my team and you go for yours. So I'll say the Kiwis team. So we've got Chance at fullback, Jermaine Osako and Ronaldo Mulatalo on the wings, Matt Tomoko, Casey McLean in the centres, halves of Dylan Brown and Kieran Foran, front row of James Fisher-Harris, Jeremy Marshall-King, Moses Leota. Then second row, Brighton Nakora and Isaiah Papali'i with Joseph Tapani. Change of Phoenix, FY and a Solomoto. So a great team for the Kiwis there. I would have liked to see Kino Kenny at fullback,
Same.
But yeah, I'm happy enough with that 17 for the first set out.
I might have. I'm not sure on a Sofa Salamona too. I suppose internationals, you want a big damaging body off the bench. So, yeah. But yeah, want me to go with Samoa? You're frozen again, so I'll go. So, Tor Samoa, fullback, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, wings, Murray Taulangi, Brian To'o, centres, Isaac Tango, Dean Mariner, halves, Blaze Talangi, Jerome Luai, front row, Josh Papali, Payne Haas, Jazz Tavanga, second row, Jeremiah Nanai, Jaden Sua, and 13, lock, Junior Polo, interchange bench, Shinahurst Tavita, Simi Sasangi, Terrell May, and Francis Molo. Strong team.
Yeah, strong team as well. I think it'll be a hell of a clash. I think Kiwis are going to get it. But I don't think it's gonna. I think it's going to be really tight, as all these games are. I think these teams are insanely close, and it's really a home game for both. If you think about it, Mount Smart. There's a lot of guys that have called Mount Smart home in that Samoan team, and they'll have a lot of fans there for them too. So it should be a cracking game this Sunday at 6. The rest of the games, Saturday, we have Fiji versus the Cook Islands in the men, which I feel like Fiji should win that one. No disrespect to Cook Islands. And then Pacific Championship for the women on the Saturday, PNG play the Cook Islands, and then the Kiwi Ferns playing Samoa on Sunday. I think all of those games are on Sky, all the Pacific Championship ones. So that should be cracker. And then, Aussie and England don't play until the 26th. So, we won't watch them as much. I'm not sure we haven't discussed how we're going to review these games next week, if you want to review both or you're just going to focus on the Pacific Championship, the Kiwi Samoa Tongan games. I'm not sure. We can talk about that later. We'll either review both Fiji, Cook Islands, Kiwi Samoa, or just talk about the results and do the Kiwis. We'll figure it out. Yeah. But anything else you guys want to add?
No, I'm happy. All good.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight and joining us on Standoff with Brad and Richie. Thanks so much for sticking with us this year as well. We've still got a couple more weeks left before we give you some time away from us. But for your weekly update on rugby league, tune into our show next Wednesday at 8 p.m. here on Facebook or YouTube. Just search for New Zealand Sport Radio. And thanks again for joining us tonight. And good night, everyone.